Hello guys, this is Wunderbit Trading and we're carrying on with our weekly Bitcoin and Ethereum price analysis. Today we'll also talk about the Bitcoin dominance and whether this chart can be used as a tool for short-term investment. And at the same time, at the end of the video, I will show you a couple of positions in which we're currently in or we're closely monitoring. So without any further ado, let's switch to the chart. Okay guys, in front of you, you can see the Bitcoin price chart. This is the Binance on a weekly time frame. The previous week finished in a red, so a very bearish mood, and we re-entered the downward channel once again. So as we talked about last week, there is a potential double top formation over here, and the previous week completed this formation. We'll see whether in a couple of weeks time we'll recheck the bottom at around 9,500, and then if we can break it, retest it and go further down if this is a true double top formation. On the daily, we can see that we touched the 10,000 level. We checked it several times for 4 days in a row, and today from early in the morning we moved up to retest the 10,600 level. So in this case we do have the resistance not only from the level but at the same time the downward channel, which you can see here in green. Today we'll see if the price would be able to finish and close above that level or not, or this level will not be broken. If not, then we assume there is going to be a further downward movement towards the 9,000 region. At the 4-hour chart, you can clearly see in more details exactly the same story and exactly the same picture. We retested this downward channel, we slightly touched it on the previous bar, and currently we are in a consolidation mode, at least at this stage. We'll see later on today how the price will move, and based on that we will be able to determine whether we can see another breakout from the channel or we're actually going down. Let's look at the Ethereum USDT price chart and also on Binance, and we will start from the weekly chart as usual. So based on the weekly chart, the previous week we touched slightly the trend line, this green trend line, which we drew a couple of weeks ago, and we discussed this last Monday as well, that we will have to retest this one. So we bounced from it back to the region of 199, almost $200. We'll see in the daily chart now what's happening here. We're still below the alligator based on a trading chaos approach, which means that we are in a downward move. If we will be able to cross the balance line and we'll break the resistance of 230, then we can state that the price broke the downward movement and we start going up. However, at the current moment in particular, there is no true signal that we are in the upward move. This is more like a retracement, a short-term retracement of an overall downward move. So that's it with the Bitcoin and Ethereum price analysis, and now let's look at the Bitcoin dominance chart. BTC dominance chart is the percentage of the BTC market cap in relation to the total crypto market cap. And this is a very simple chart, but we can show you how to use it as an investment tool. So in front of you, you can see the weekly chart of the Bitcoin dominance, and on the right hand side the scale is in percentage because this is the proportion of BTC market cap in relation to the total cryptocurrency cap. So and currently it's around 69.7%. You can see that in the previous years, like 15, 16 and part of 17 as well, the Bitcoin dominance was above 94 and it was extremely high. And then when people realized that there is a potential to invest into altcoins, this is exactly where the Bitcoin dominance chart started going down. In this case, it is reasonable to assume that the BTC dominance chart can be used as a tool to select when it is a suitable time to switch from Bitcoin to maybe altcoins, to determine if another altcoin season is coming. This is the crucial questions right now. So to do that, what we're gonna add to this chart is the Ethereum BTC pair from Binance. And now we have the left-hand side scale, which is the Ethereum BTC price. And actually, you can see even just by visual examination of this weekly chart that they do have a negative correlation, actually a very strong negative correlation. So when the BTC dominance is going down, the Ethereum BTC price is going up. Let's switch to the daily chart to see it more precisely. Here it's even better. You can clearly see that they're mirroring each other, which means that there should be a very strong negative correlation. And actually we can check it on a trading view mathematically as well. What if we add this indicator, which is called the correlation coefficient, and then you just type in the instrument that we're using, so Ethereum BTC from Binance. You'll have this indicator over here. Let me just quickly change the color a bit and the form. So the style, we'll put it to line and we'll make it red, for example. And now you can clearly see that towards the bottom, this is the -1 correlation, which means it's a perfectly negative correlation. So when one goes up, another one goes down. And most of the time, it's within the region of -0.6 to -1, which is very strong correlation. So what can you do with that? You can realize that when the BTC is reaching the local high point, this pair of Ethereum and Bitcoin is at slowest. So it's very good to invest in Ethereum in relation to Bitcoin based on these two lines. One important thing here is that you can see that currently, starting from the 9th of August, the BTC dominance chart reached its local high. The Ethereum BTC pair reaches its local bottom, and actually this is the second bottom within the last 2 weeks. And this can be a very good opportunity right now to invest into Ethereum against the Bitcoin and wait for the rebounds back to the certain levels in terms of the Ethereum Bitcoin price. What can also be done is if we hide this Ethereum BTC price chart and then we'll just use the technical analysis, we'll see how the technical analysis respond to this BTC dominance chart. So for example, we had at around 58%, 59% a very strong support previously. So I'll just put it on here. And when it was broken in 13th of May 2019, we retested back and then the BTC dominance start increasing even further. We can also see the very similar sort of formations over here, that we broke it down, we retested, we had another bottom, and then we broke above this resistance which became support, retested it and went into the horizontal channel. Let's move to the 4-hour chart just to see whether we can find support and resistance there, the more local ones. And here we go, exactly the same story. So this was the previous local high on the 13th of May 2019. Went down, we broke it, retested and went above it. So we can state that in most cases the support and resistance level are still working here. So if they do, this is the most recent ones, which I'm highlighting right here. So if we can break the 68.88% BTC dominance, there is a very strong signal to actually buy Ethereum in relation to Bitcoin. But let's check another thing. What if it's not the relationship to Bitcoin that we would like to trade in, but the relationship of Ethereum to USDT, for example? Let's switch our symbol to Ethereum USDT, also on Binance Exchange. And we can see just by visual representation that they do have a very similar negative outlook in terms of their correlation. Let's change the correlation as well, just to confirm this using this indicator. So we'll write the Ethereum USDT on Binance. And yes, currently we are minus 0.81, so a very strong negative correlation. So as an investment tool, this can be easily used based on the technical analysis and the negative correlation. So the suggestions that we have currently in our mind, if the BTC dominance is going to go below 68.78%, then there might be a very good time to invest into Ethereum, for example, as a main altcoin, and sit there in this position for at least short term, depending on how the price will move there. So that's it with the Bitcoin dominance and how it can be used as an investment tool. And now we'll show you a couple of positions that we currently have or we're closely monitoring, and we'll share this with you. Okay guys, here we have in front of you the Ethereum USDT price chart, and this is one of the positions we're currently in. And the reason behind that was very simple. You can see this candle over here on the 16th of August. This is the daily chart, so this is a daily candlestick closed in a very bullish manner. This is one of the reversal candles, and based on the trading chaos approach, how to trade this, you put your order to buy Ethereum slightly above where this candlestick stop is. So this was our entry point into that deal, and then the stop loss is slightly below the lowest point. But because here we had the level and at the same time the strong trend line support, we put the stop loss slightly below that. So just in case we won't be kicked by any huge move downward. So we entered into the position on the 18th of August, and we currently in a little bit of a profit. If we measure it, it's going to be around 5.9% at this particular point. There might be a short retracement back on the lower time frames, like 1 hour or maybe even 30 minutes. But here we do have the divergence between the price and the AO indicator, which tells us that this is not a bad point for entry, and this even can be the reversal of the whole downward move, or at least we'll go to the $230 for Ethereum. The other chart that I wanted to show you today is the BNB USDT, and this one we're just closely monitoring because it recently broke down from the downward channel. We'll go to the 4-hour chart to clearly see this. So we broke down the downward channel. Now we stopped at the resistance of $29, and to make this pattern complete, we'll have to retest it back and then go further up. This is one of the scenarios that can occur, or at the same time this can be a false breakout, which means that after rechecking this, we'll actually go back into the channel and further down. So that's why we're closely monitoring this BNB USDT pair, and we'll see whether it will go in any of these scenarios. One final announcement for you. Our commission this week is only 1% for buying crypto with Visa or MasterCard. So don't lose this opportunity and go to wonderby.co and use this offer. Okay guys, that was it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned to our YouTube channel to receive the weekly updates on Ethereum, Bitcoin price, and also the new ideas that are circulating around the crypto industry. Stay tuned with our Telegram channel to receive the daily updates, and best of luck with your trading on a daily basis.